Hey everybody, welcome to Broadway.com's Live at 5. It is Friday, finally, January 4th, and I am Ryan Lee Gilbert.
And I'm Paul Wontorek.
And of course, who's here with us but the wonderful Caitlin Moynihan.
Hello.
And we have a fabulous guest with us today.
From the Broadway.com favorite play of 2018, right?
That's right, absolutely it is.
Yes.
Yes, Justin Edwards is joining us from The Ferryman. He plays Tom Kettle in the show. We will speak to him in a little bit, but first, let's talk about today's Top 5.
We found out today who's returning to the diner.
Yes, so we were just getting used to old Josie.
We were yes, the
And
wonderful
waitress.
June Squibb.
The diner means waitress, by the way.
Yes,
Whenever we
like
refer to a
whenever-
diner on Broadway, it's waitress.
Waitress.
So June Squibb, who was here.
Yeah, she was. She's
And
fantastic.
they made old Joe, the adorable character of old Joe, old Josie for her run.
Right.
Josie's swapping genders again, back
Yeah,
to old
back
Joe.
to old Joe.
And Larry Marshall,
From the tour.
fantastic Tony
Yeah.
nominee and former old Joe. Correct?
Yes, and
Yeah.
he did the tour as well.
He is coming back on January 7th. So June Squibb is playing her last performance on the 6th. And he was nominated for a Tony for Porgy and Bess back in the 70s.
That's right.
Does anyone remember the 70s? I do. He's also been on Broadway in The Color Purple, The Full Monty, Big Deal, Coming Uptown. These are big 70s things. Two Down in Verona.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Best musical
yeah.
winner.
All right,
The year I was
absolutely.
born.
Yep.
And but he's joining on that huge day.
It's a big day. It's a big day over at the
Sarah Bareilles
diner.
and Gavin Creel are joining on the same day. So that's a really exciting new trio.
family,
And
yeah.
actually, look on the site because we have video.
That's
Caitlin,
right.
Did
Yep.
you actually
She
interview?
I
You
interviewed
interviewed
Gavin and
Gavin?
Sarah today. It was wonderful.
How were they? Were they nice?
Delightful.
Yeah.
They said some really great funny stuff. Go look at
They're
it.
So
adorable.
check out that video and the photos on the site. Anyway, welcome back, Larry Marshall.
Casting is set for the star-studded show in London.
It's all about Eve. It is all about Eve.
I'm
Ivo
excited.
Me too.
Yeah.
I hope. I don't know if I'll get to see this, but Ivo Van Hove is adapting
It's gonna
and
come to
directing.
Broadway. It's gonna come to
Is
Broadway.
it? Prediction right
Sure.
here. You heard it. January 4th.
Sure.
So all about Eve. Ivo Van Hove adapting and directing. We already knew that Gillian Anderson, Lily James, Julian Ovenden, Monica Dolan, and Sheila Reed were going to be part of that production, and now we got additional casting: Jessie May Lee, Merrick Boyd, Fahiro Emma Zabiobi, I think
could
is
do
how.
it.
Yes.
Nailed it.
Chanel
You're our
Modi.
resident difficult name person.
Thank you. Stuart Nunn, Philippa Peake, and Michael Warburton are joining the cast of that show. It'll begin February 2nd at the Noel Coward Theatre in London and will open officially on February 12th. I love the movie.
What's it
All
about?
Eve. Would you like to know what it's all about? In case you haven't seen the movie All About Eve, you absolutely should, by the way.
Yes.
Follows aspiring actress Eve Harrington, that will be Lily James, who shows up in the dressing room of Broadway star Margot Channing, that is Gillian Anderson, and reveals her sad life story. Margot takes Eve under her wing, but soon it appears that Eve is conniving to use Margot.
It's also known as Showgirls.
Showgirls,
Showgirls
yes.
is there's a lot of variations. All About Eve is a great template,
Yep,
and it became
yep.
a lot of other things,
Sure. I was
including a
gonna say-
musical. Applause
Yeah.
was a
Oh,
musical
right, no,
version of All About Eve.
absolutely.
But this is a new dramatic. It was started as a screenplay, so this is a dramatic play version.
Yes, I think I
It's
have
gonna
the.
be amazing.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great.
Can't
yeah.
wait.
And one of our favorite plays is getting new life.
Oh yeah! Oh my God! The Office.
The Office.
Wait, The Office went
lost
crazy
its
yesterday.
mind.
This was like the most exciting thing that's happened in a long time. So they're doing Significant Other. It was a fantastic Joshua Harmon play.
Near and dear.
I knew you were going to clutch your heart
It's
when
so
I said
near
it.
and dear to
I
my
knew
heart,
it.
that play.
I could have predicted that.
I love
Yeah. Gideon Glick was fantastic in it, and now he's in Tacoma Mockingbird.
He's in
Anyway,
Tacoma
that's an
Mockingbird.
aside. They're doing a reading at the Marlene Meyerson JCC in New York City, and the reason why we're excited is not only because we love the play, but because Ethan Slater is playing
Yes,
Jordan,
Tony
which is
nominee Ethan
really
Slater,
who you all loved as
absolutely.
SpongeBob SquarePants, and Isaac Powell, who is dancing out his last. Are we
Over
ever
at-
going to see him do those dance moves again? I think we will.
I am sure we will.
Keep following
They're
him on
his-
Instagram. He's in What's in This Island. But he will play Zach/Evan/Roger. It's a lot of guys to take on.
Yes.
And also Midori Francis, Latoya Edwards, Catherine Wake, and Catherine Cates. This is, and then they're still going to announce Will/Conrad. There's a lot of slashes / Tony. Anyway, it's about this like lonely gay guy trying to find love and his female friends.
They all get married one by one.
Right.
And
it's a great play.
Yeah,
and so
great.
when is this happening anyway? Because everyone in the office bought tickets.
April 23rd?
No, January 31st.
January
7
31st.
p.m.
Yeah.
Danielle Cagliano's directing it. Anyway, it's a great play and a great cast. Go check it out.
And a new musical bio is in the works.
This I'm very excited for. It's called Sincerely Oscar, and it will be playing Theatre Row's Acorn Theatre in March 27th. It'll begin previews. It'll open on April 4th, and it is celebrating Tony-winning Broadway lyricist Oscar Hammerstein II, of course. The book is co-written by Doreen Taylor, who also will star in the production, and Jonathan Lee Iverson wrote it as well. Doug McDonough will direct, and it explores Hammerstein's life and the world and all of his incredible works that we all know him for, but it also includes personal connections that he made, personal stories, celebrating the life of Oscar Hammerstein, which absolutely signed me up for that.
A lot of good material.
And it's a new musical off Broadway. Very exciting.
Cool.
And we just found out more about this Hamilton love story.
Yay,
This
this
is
is
very
sweet.
sweet.
Anthony Ramos and Jasmine Cephus Jones, the original cast members of
Absolutely.
Hamilton, are
Yep.
engaged.
Aw.
They've been dating ever since they were in the show together. They're super adorable.
They really are.
And Anthony Ramos is, of course,
What a
having
year.
He's having a moment because he's
Yes.
in A Star is Born, with playing Lady Gaga's Best Gay.
Yep, absolutely.
And and then he will be. That's okay to say.
no, absolutely.
That's
Obviously,
good.
we're all summers.
And he will be in the movie of In the Heights, you guys.
Which is
He's playing
very
I saw him do
exciting,
Usnavi at Kennedy Center. He was fantastic, and now he will be in the movie. And of course, Jasmine played Peggy. Everyone, of course.
And Peggy.
But they're engaged, and they did it in Paris, correct?
I believe so.
Isn't that where the
Yes,
photos
I think
were?
so.
Yeah, on Christmas
Anyway,
Eve.
On
congratulations.
Christmas Eve.
On Christmas Eve.
Oh my
They're
goodness.
adorable.
What love.
Thanks for finally letting us know, by the way. Christmas
Yeah.
Eve was like 2 weeks ago.
All right.
That's
well,
it.
Paul,
I'm
thank
out.
you so much. Have a great weekend.
Thank you so much.
You're
You
very welcome. And Caitlin, why don't you tell us a little bit about today's very special guest?
Gladly. Yes, we have Justin Edwards in the studio with us today. He's currently making his Broadway debut as Tom Kettle in The Ferryman. It's a role that he originated in the West End. He has starred in films The Man Who Invented Christmas, Love and Friendship, and The Death of Stalin. He is well known for his work in comedy and TV, including The Thick of It, Veep, Suspicions of Mr. Wicker, The Trip, Secret, Diary of a Call Girl, Father Brown, Endeavor, Skins, Black Mirror. I could just keep going because he's that good. Be sure to follow him on Twitter at Big Edwards. That's it. Follow him. And leave all of your questions in the comments down below. Please welcome Justin and Ryan.
Hello there, sir.
Hello. What a
Thank you
pleasure to
so
be here.
much.
Not at
It's
all.
so wonderful having you. I think, as Paul mentioned, we selected The Ferryman as our top play of 2018.
Very good choice.
An easy choice, a very easy choice for us to make. We all love the show so much. I know that there is an affinity, particularly for you and your character around this office here. We say the name Tom Kettle, and then we clutch our hearts very often. You are making your Broadway debut in the show. Congratulations,
I am, thank you.
sir. Tell me a little bit about what drew you to this role. What made you want to sign on to be a part of this absolutely incredible play?
Well, like any actor, if someone offers you work, you kind of go, yes, I'll do that. That was the main reason. No, it's extraordinary play. I'll have to correct you slightly. I wasn't in the
So not
original.
the original,
I'm
yeah.
not the original cast. I was in the third cast in London, so I did actually audition for it a couple of times and didn't get it.
Got it.
And then auditioned for the third cast and then got it. And then Jez said, yes, that's how I want it played. So I was like, well, you couldn't
There's no
let
better
me
compliment.
know. That's not bad, is it? So I'll take that. So they asked me to join the Broadway cast, which of course, I had to do a little thinking. I've got small children and family back
Right.
in London and all that. But, my wife was very understanding. She was over last week and seemed less understanding then after 4 months of looking after the kids by herself.
Imagine.
But
Yeah.
we agreed. We said, no, we can't turn this down. It's a great thing to do. And,
Right. Was there something about this material or this character that you wanted to? We're at a point in your career where this is something that you wanted to
Yeah,
do
definitely.
differently?
I don't do a huge amount of theatre back in London. I haven't done. I think sort of small children get in the way of everything. But they, so I haven't done that much. So this was, yes, it was sort of West End debut as well when I did it in London. So it was, a very interesting thing to do because normally I play sort of bumbling men in sitcoms and, slightly hapless things. So this is something a bit different and a bit more exciting. And because Jez is such an extraordinary writer and, Sam's such an amazing director, you kind of
Absolutely.
think this is an opportunity that doesn't come along very often, and it's the
Right.
kind of play that doesn't get staged. That it doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
These big epic things like with Jerusalem, and that was over here, and with this as well, with a cast of this many people and animals and babies and all the rest of it. So it's you kind of think this is sort of once in a lifetime. I can't see this coming back every now and then. They go,
Right.
oh, that theatre's just pop the Ferryman in for a couple of weeks. It's not that kind of a show.
No,
really,
this type of production doesn't get done very often.
No.
Where you have, like you said, all of those moving elements, and of course, one of the things that you handle all of the live animals.
I do.
On
I
stage.
get all the
rabbits and the geese,
Yeah.
and how I was reading something that sort of explained that they took to you very quickly.
I think
there was no
there's some kind of smell or something. I don't know.
they say
No,
animals
they-
can sense
The
like,
sense
good
that I'm not
people
going
and trust.
to hurt them. No, I've grown up with animals, and I've got lots of cats, and I count my children as basically being sort of animals of a sort. So I'm quite used to that. But no, they're very sweet. They're very well trained here as well. The geese are extraordinary. We're kind of just training up another goose at the moment because the current one, Peggy is getting Peggy laid 3 eggs last week, so we're a bit concerned that I don't want to be laying eggs on stage, and she's getting a bit sensitive. So her sister Gertie was in yesterday, and we did a little work with her and carried her around the stage and make sure that she's. So we're going to try and swap them around a bit so they don't have to do 8 shows a week.
Do all the
each.
heavy
And-
lifting.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
right. Geese need a break too.
They do. They're quite precious. The geese.
Absolutely. Your character, Tom Kettle, it's not explicitly laid out in the show, but you can sort of sense that there's either a learning disability or some kind of autism or Asperger's.
It's never explicitly said, and Jez has never said. I mean,
Right.
At certain points, I think at the start of the show, the way he labels and controls things and wants to make lists, he kind of that points
Who
towards
he interacts
Asperger's
with.
or his lack of interaction with people. But then again, other things he does during the show, he does have an emotional connection with one
Absolutely.
particular character, obviously. And is capable, So it's very interesting. He's never said specifically what his learning difficulty is, and I've never tried to play it as any particular
That's what I was going
thing
to ask.
because I think it's because you want to be obviously sensitive to what's playing that kind of a role on stage, and not
Right.
sort of, I don't know, not doing too much, if that's the polite way of putting it, or being sort of too over the top, or trying to kind of make it all about that in the performance. But certainly, I think the best description is when Uncle Pat says he's not slow, he's just unhurried. And I've always thought that's a nice way of he's just.
Absolutely.
And Sam always said when you first come on, you don't have to go because it's it's so fast that first act because everyone's tumbling
Right.
downstairs and huge
Yes.
thing. And I come on, he said just be as slow as you like because you don't pick up on anyone else's rhythms. You're sort of not in their world, and you live in your own head, at your own pace. So
Right, and well, also like after you will come on stage, you'll make your entrance. But then you stay on stage just sort of in the background.
Yeah.
You are, and what is for you is that an interesting challenge for you to sort of have to be alive up there?
it is,
and not draw.
And it's also exciting because I can kind of look wherever I want and do that because that big second
food's
scene with the
being
food. I'm the only one who gets to eat as well because when the dancing happens, I stand at the back and eat the whole roast dinner. I get a free dinner every night. That was another reason for taking the job. But it was. But I get to I get to look around and watch. I do generally on it. I will focus on certain and just watch because I don't have to concentrate on any particular thing or anything. It's nice. It's always interesting just to see and because there's so much going on stage at certain points. You just think, I can I'm like sort of the audience. Just, that's good. I didn't know they did that. Oh, that's good. I've not noticed that before on the set. Yeah, so I keep myself occupied.
And what have you made of the reactions that audiences have had to this show? Is there? It seems to be such an intense. I don't think I've talked to anyone that's walked away from that show and hasn't said the most incredible things about it and recommend everyone go to it. What does that tell you about this material or these people that we're all meeting?
I think it's such a good show, or such a good solid story, and so fascinating that everyone gets dragged into it. I think American audiences are very different from British audiences in that way. That because I think they have to work harder to get into the rhythm of the accents and the story. So you're very aware that during the first 20 minutes of the show, you kind of think it's quite silent, or they're not. But that's because people are really tuning into. And there is an awful lot to take in, and it's it's deliberately confusing. You don't know who these people are. People literally come down the stage and go, I don't know who that is.
Right.
And you don't find out. Well, you do find out.
The show does a great job.
But the exposition isn't easy. And I think it forces people to really come in and focus on it. And then the laughter sort of builds throughout the first and second act because everyone gets it and they love it. They want to be a part of this family. And then certain things happen where they go, I don't want to be a part of this. And you can feel them sort of sitting back in the third act, watching it unfold, going, oh no, this is
Absolutely.
not what we wanted. Yeah, it really uses the audience in a very, very good way, I think.
Right. And Tom Kettle is the only Englishman.
The only Englishman in the whole
And you
play.
are the only Englishman.
I'm
right?
more or less. There are a few other English people in the cast. The cast is mostly
You all
Irish.
get
I'd say it's
along.
sort of 85% Irish.
Okay.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, it's fine. But yes, I'm the only one that doesn't have to do the accent, so that's kind of, which is a
Absolutely.
relief for everyone.
Right. Was this something, was performing, whether it be theater or on film, was that something that you always knew you wanted to do? Or is it something you discovered?
I think so. Well, I went to a school where performing arts and the arts in general just weren't considered important. It was a very traditional school in the 70s and 70s and 80s, and they were like, no, you should, the arts are fun, but it's not really a career. That was their kind of take on it, and I was always, no, I want to do this. So it wasn't until I left secondary school, high school equivalent, I really was able to say, no, this is what I want to do, and be taken, if not seriously, at least be allowed a chance to do it. Yeah.
Right. And is it something that... are your children expressing any sort of interest in it, or do they still think what you do is
They don't know
wild?
quite what we do. My wife, because my wife's a performer
Right,
as well.
yeah.
She's a stand-up comedian, so they really, they have no kind of judgment of what, most of the kids go, oh, my dad's a doctor, or my dad, no, they work in this, and they go, what do your
dad
parents do?
plays
And I go, I don't know. They just dress up and shout. I don't know what they do. He mucks around with rabbits, as far as I can tell. But they are getting, my daughter, she did her sort of Christmas school production, and she had a solo, and is very, she's quite keen.
All
I don't know
right.
if that's to be encouraged or not.
Knows how to find her spotlight.
Yeah,
That's it.
absolutely, yeah.
And I know we want to take some questions from people that are watching, but I discovered that you are, I hope you get this pronunciation right,
Yeah.
a tegestologist?
Yeah, tegestologist, yes.
So explain for the people, right? Yes, explain to people what this, because I believe
It's
my
not as-
husband is one of
It's
these
not
as
as
well.
exciting as it sounds. I collect beer mats.
Yeah, like coasters.
Yeah,
and these
coasters,
things,
but
right?
yeah. And because there's, I'm afraid I don't really collect American ones, so my time over here is limited.
So you had a Mike Birbiglia one.
I have got a Mike
Yes.
Birbiglia one, which is coming back with me, of course, and a few of the other little brewery ones out here as well. But I mostly collect sort of British beer mats of the 70s and 80s. It's quite niche.
No, that's
And
fascinating.
the walls of my home
yeah.
are plastered with them. Or they were when I left. My wife might have redecorated since I've been away.
Are you one of those people going to your friends or hosts' houses and they have 4 coasters, and then at the end of the night they only have 3?
Not quite that bad, no.
Keep more friends that
Yeah.
way. Yes. Caitlin, what would our viewers like to know
Yes.
from Justin?
Well, a lot of people, this same question was asked to Frafe, who was here a few weeks
Right,
ago.
yes.
They would like to know about your personal relationship with the goose and what it's like.
Well, me and the goose and I know. Peggy and I get on very well. She's very, the goose we had in London was a bit more sort of unwilling to be on stage sometimes. It was harder work and much stronger and bigger, and a real kind of, right, we get you under here and we go on with you, and if you get your wings out, we're absolutely ruined. Whereas Peggy here, because she's sort of been trained from an egg,
Yeah.
I can pick her up like a cat. She kind of stands on the floor, and I walk her and pick her up and have a stroke and a bit of a chat. And she sort of, and then, she's very, very docile and
I
very
feel like she
behaved,
also
so-
knows her moments now.
yeah.
Like,
She does now, when to look.
She like
She's very
does her
good.
sides
Yeah.
to the
Oh, yeah.
audience.
She's
Yeah.
getting quite canny.
I
But
have
she's
to
got,
say.
but I went out to visit her. She lives in Scarsdale when she's not out in an animal
okay.
sanctuary there. So Rochelle, the animal handler, took a couple of us out. And we went to see her and her sisters, and so I sort of went into the goose bed. And Peggy was there, sort of go, oh yeah, I know him. He's fine, and he's all right. I see him every night on stage. And then the other two just went for me. Like, didn't want to know. So we're trying to, but so no, I have a very solid relationship.
It's the
with
most
Peggy.
important
Yeah.
relationship
I think so. Yeah.
for the goose in the show, I would say. Yes. Yeah.
I love that. Alexandra would like to know that what's an interesting fact about you that people wouldn't learn just from looking at your career so far?
And not being a tegestologist.
And not being a
Yes,
tegestologist. And it can't be about height, because everyone knows about that. My wife is very short, but that comes up a lot on Wikipedia. I was going to be a French teacher at one stage. I did a French degree at university.
Oh,
wow.
And that was going to be my fallback position. If the acting didn't work out, I'd teach French. But luckily for many French students around the world, that hasn't happened. So.
Are you also? I think I read somewhere that you thought about auditioning for the role of Miss Trunchbull in Matilda.
I did audition for the role, Mr. I
You
got
did?
down. I got down to the last 3 for it, and then didn't get it because I think the person they went with initially. This was after Bertie Carvel had done it. This was for the second cast in that, but I didn't get that, which was a shame. Although who knows? Maybe we'll
Right.
use it.
Are musicals something that...
Yeah, I have. I used to do more musicals. I used to do a lot more singing, and I just haven't done for the last couple of years. I used to do a sort of live comedy song act that I take on shows and various things. And I keep saying I used to be because my voice is wrecked at them. I'm doing this show for some reason. It really tires me out. And I'm sort of, I think because I sort of talk like that on stage and it's quite loud. So yeah, the thought of singing at the moment is beyond me. Fra is always getting people to do sing-alongs, and I'm always ducking out. Going,
Right.
Not today. Not today. I'm gonna...
Be a special guest.
Yeah.
Yes. Scott would like to know, how do you manage the extreme emotionalism of the show? It is so intense, which it is.
Yeah. It is, but it's also well written in that no one's on stage when they don't need to be, and even with sort of the part of Caitlin that Laura plays, which is so extraordinary emotional. You still she's off stage for 10 minutes in every act, or 15. So you do get time to relax and forget about it and compartmentalize it. And certainly the bigger emotional scene I have, I've got time backstage. You get really to, it's not, you're never pressured. There's no big quick changes or kind of rushing on and off. It's everyone has quite a gentle journey backstage through the show, which I think helps a lot with that.
Do you find that you need sort of decompression time afterward too?
A little bit,
especially because that last act. I mean,
a little bit less so. Obviously, the more you do it, and we've been running now for a time, and we've all done it a lot in London as well. So you can, but again, I think that's part of the process of acting is you can switch it off quite quickly. But some nights, no. Some nights when there are people sobbing in the front row at the end, and you're all bowing, smiling, go, "Well, that was fun." Oh God, they're really.
they need a moment.
What have we done? Yeah, and people do sort of leave the theatre slightly shell-shocked, going, "I don't know quite what I've seen," and we're sort of backstage.
Yeah. No,
so
I don't remember my walk home.
No,
I
don't. No.
I was just in my head, like, what? Yeah.
No. And we can do last question. Tyler wants to know, Tyler says, this play transported me out of New York City. Do you feel more at home when you're performing?
I do, although it's not my home because it's Northern Ireland in my home, but it's a rural farmhouse and I grew up in the countryside. There's something, we spend so much time, obviously 8 shows a week and it's a long show and it's all in one set, that farmhouse does feel very much like home at the moment. I know where I sit, I know where things are kept, I know where So yeah, it is an odd sense of every time you walk on stage, you go, oh, here we are again. It is, this is not, you hear the odd sirens, but you go, this is not America. We're in County Armagh,
But also credit to your scenic design because
amazing,
that
isn't it?
home
is,
I mean,
so
just,
real.
It absolutely.
The detail that you just don't
and
get to see
the
as the
cooking
audience.
and the smells coming out and just
the realism is kind of insane. It's real. Everything's cooked. It's a real Argo. You come in and eggs are burnt, and you go, oh, that was.
Now I have to eat these.
It's very,
it's absolutely incredible. The entire cast is phenomenal, yourself included, sir.
Oh,
Congratulations on your Broadway debut. Thank you, and your West End debut.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming by. Make sure you go see Jez Butterworth's The Ferryman at the Jacobs Theater. Absolutely incredible. Broadway.com. Full endorsement here. Thank you so much. Caitlin, why don't you take us out?
Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. We are live at 5 every single day on Facebook. You can listen to us in a podcast form by searching for #LiveAt5 and hitting that subscribe button. Be sure to tune in on Monday. We talk to Mamie Paris of School of Rock.